Have you ever held a dragon fruit in your hand, saw it look beautiful but wondered, is it sweet inside? Is it ripe enough? Or is it just the appearance that deceives? Dragon fruit, a fruit that seems familiar, but not everyone knows how to choose the right one. Choose wrongly, you can bring home a bland, sour, or dry fruit just because you missed a few very small signs. In this video, I will show you some extremely simple but extremely accurate tips so that the next time you stand in front of dozens of dragon fruits, you will know right away, this is the best one. One of the simplest and easiest ways to choose a delicious dragon fruit is to look at the color of the skin and the top. When I go to the market, I always look for fruits with dark red skin. The color is even from top to bottom. These are usually fully ripe and sweet. A deep red color indicates that the fruit has absorbed enough sunlight and nutrients from the soil and has ripened in the right amount of time, so the flesh inside will be sweeter and juicier than those with pale skin. On the other hand, if the fruit has a light skin that looks slightly green or unevenly red, it is probably not quite ripe yet. These fruits often have pale flesh that is not very sweet, sometimes even sour, especially if they were picked early or refrigerated for too short a time. Many people think that bright skin looks better. I used to think so too until I cut one open and it was sour and bland. So be sure to pay attention to the color of the skin. In addition to the skin, you also need to look at the wings, the small pieces of leaves that grow around the fruit. Good fruits will have fresh green wings, not wilted, not bruised, and certainly not dried out. If the wings are still green, it's a good sign that the fruit was picked not too long ago, so the inside is still fresh and juicy. But if you notice that the wings have wilted, turned yellow or brown, then it's likely that the fruit has been sitting there for days. The flavor will start to fade and lose its natural sweetness. So, just carefully check the dark red skin and fresh green wings. You'll be able to pick out the sweetest, juiciest dragon fruit for your family. In addition to looking at the color, another little trick to choosing a truly sweet dragon fruit is to look at the spacing between the wings on its skin. This is a fairly noticeable detail on the surface of the fruit, but not many people pay attention to it. Sweet, juicy, fully ripe fruits often have wings that are far apart. It's like the wings have been pushed out because the inside is fully developed and ripe. When the fruit is evenly ripe and sweet, the flesh will expand, causing the wings to spread out further apart, looking fresh and full of life. On the other hand, if the scales grow close together or clustered like on this fruit, and almost half of the skin is pale yellow, the color is uneven, there are bee stings and scratches, it's a sign that the fruit has been stored for a long time and has begun to lose moisture, causing the scales to droop slightly. These fruits tend to have a bland flesh, are less sweet, and sometimes even taste slightly sour, especially if the skin also looks faded or shows signs of discoloration. Now that you know this trick, next time you go shopping, just pay attention to the distance between the wings. The farther apart they are, the sweeter the fruit. Another way to choose a sweet dragon fruit is to look at the wings, specifically the color of the wings on the skin of the fruit. Choose fruits with thin, soft wings that start to turn pink or light red from the base to the tip. This is a clear sign that the fruit is fully ripe. The flesh inside has reached its natural sweetness and juiciness. Pink or red wings also indicate that the fruit was harvested at the right time and not picked too early. On the other hand, fruits with scales that turn yellow, curl back, thicken, and are usually fruits that were picked quite early and then left to dry for a long time after harvest. At that point, the flesh inside tends to become mushy, dehydrated, and loses its sweet, juicy flavor, becoming bland and less fresh. This is a clear sign you should avoid when picking dragon fruit.
See?
Who would have thought that the scales of a dragon fruit could say so much about its quality? So next time you go shopping, just pay a little more attention to the scales, and you will easily be able to pick a sweet and delicious dragon fruit. Not only the color or the petals determine a delicious dragon fruit. There is another small but very important detail. Look at the bottom of the fruit. If the bottom is still green, slightly firm, and has no black spots or mushy patches, then congratulations, you're holding a fresh dragon fruit that has not been harvested for too long. These fruits often retain their natural sweetness. When eaten, they will feel cool, crispy, and juicy. On the contrary, if you see the tail of the fruit wilting, turning dark brown, having small black spots, or feeling soft and wrinkled at the base, the fruit may have been picked a long time ago or kept in the refrigerator for too many days. This type of dragon fruit is often dehydrated. The skin is wrinkled. The flesh is often bland or sour, not delicious at all. It can be said that the tail of the fruit is like a time gate. Just by looking at it, you can tell if the fruit is still fresh or wilted. This method is extremely accurate, so remember to save it for your next time you go to the market to pick dragon fruit. This last tip is quite familiar because I have used it to pick many fruits such as watermelons, apples. And now for dragon fruit, you can absolutely apply it here by simply balancing your hands. This method is extremely easy and does not require anything fancy when you go shopping. When I choose dragon fruit and find myself torn between two similar-sized fruits, I just pick them both up and compare their weights with my hands. If one dragon fruit feels heavier, it means it still has a lot of water inside. It was probably recently harvested and has not lost its moisture. These are the fruits that are usually juicy, have a refreshing cool taste, are slightly sweet, and are extremely satisfying to eat. On the other hand, if you find a fruit that feels unusually light, even if it looks great on the outside, it's likely that it's lost a lot of moisture due to being left out too long or stored poorly. These fruits tend to taste dry, powdery, and much less sweet than you'd expect. Just lift your hand, no fancy tools or utensils required, and you'll know which ones to pick and which ones to throw away, saving you money. In short, if you want to pick a sweet, juicy dragon fruit, look for a few simple signs. A deep red skin with bright green wings, wide spacing between the wings, the tips of the wings turning pink, or red from base to tip, a firm, green base, and a noticeable weight when held. If you choose dragon fruit based on these 5 tips, I guarantee you'll get a sweet, juicy fruit every time. Now let's taste these 2 fruits. Overall, after cutting the dragon fruit, I can say that it was a delicious fruit. The flesh was plump and juicy. When I scooped a piece, the juice started to collect underneath. I took a bite. It was naturally sweet, not sour at all, and very juicy. The other fruit had less water, was bland, and was definitely sour, not as sweet as the first one. This proves that the method I just shared really works and you can totally apply it. If you have chosen a delicious dragon fruit but don't know how to cut it or eat it conveniently, it's a pity. So, by the way, let me show you how I usually cut dragon fruit. It's extremely convenient. First, I use a knife to cut the dragon fruit in half. The other half can be eaten right away with a spoon, just like the way you cut a watermelon. But if you want to try something different, here's another method. Just use a knife to cut around the fruit skin, then make a long cut, and then make a horizontal cut. Each cut about 1 to 1.5 centimeters apart. Dragon fruit, a colorful fruit, is not only delicious but also brings countless health benefits. Rich in fiber, it aids digestion, keeps blood sugar stable, ideal for people who are losing weight or have diabetes. Abundant vitamin C and powerful antioxidants help boost immunity, protect the heart, and bring youthful skin. Iron and vitamin B in dragon fruit add energy, dispel fatigue. From attractive smoothies to natural cosmetics, dragon fruit is truly a gift of health and beauty. If you find this little tip useful, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so I have more motivation to share more great videos. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on any upcoming interesting tips. Thank you, and see you next time.